Biafra, superstars, media.
My fellow Biafrans, my people, how are you doing today? Fellow Biafrans, as you've heard, our brother, the one fondly called NDIGBO of AJAO Estate, has been released by Nigerian government. Mr. Jago was released to today, I believe was the 15th of January 2025. Fellow Biafrans, the problem is this. This happened in Lagos. Now, to my Yoruba friends, our brothers in Yoruba land, we sometimes expect you guys to show empathy. We sometimes expect you all to understand the problem. We sometimes hope that you guys will look at the bigger picture and do what is right. That a fellow Biafran and Igbo man was put through this in Yoruba land in Lagos. It tells me so much about the politicians from the Yoruba side. I will not say the Yoruba people. I won't put this on the Yoruba people. But I want the Yorubas, the people from the land of Oduduwa. I want you all to hold your politicians to task. You must hold them accountable, because the more they do things like this and you keep a blind eyes, you pretend not to see what is happening. Later, when we start to react, you will say the Igbos are the problem. You will say we take things out of context. But we still want you to hold your politicians to account. On our own side, we saw what transpired around April, May during your election 2023, where the Biafrans, the Igbos, doing business in Lagos. Last time I checked, during that time, you all say you believe in one Nigeria. You said Lagos was part of your so-called Nigeria. And there was a time that Lagos was the capital of Nigeria. So for the fact that one or two Igbos are living in Lagos shouldn't be a reason for you all to be angry and feel as if a particular tribe has come to take over Lagos. That during your election, the businesses of the Biafrans were being burned down. And a man known as NDIGBO, a man who was a businessman himself, and his colleagues came to him, being the rep, being the one representing them. They came to him and they told him, can you take this case to the Lagos State Governor? Let the government of Lagos know that their businesses are being burned down. Every other day, businesses were being burned down. This gentleman took this case to the Lagos State government to no avail. Not once, not twice. And out of anger, because people were coming to him, explaining how they are losing billions from arson and the rest of them. Out of anger, this man spoke. And he told the Lagos State government, be fair. Call in your police to protect our businesses being burnt, looted and destroyed. We've told you once and twice, you refuse to even respond to our call. If this keep on going on, then perhaps we may have to call in the IPOB to come in to protect us, to protect our businesses. But somehow that got to the ears of the Lagos State government, and he chose to act on that. In the frustration of a man, they chose to act in the frustration of a man. This man was locked up in their so-called custody since April 2023. Biafrans, this is the problem I have with Nigeria. This is why I'm saying that I am so glad that we have taken these bold steps to divorce ourselves from Nigeria, because Nigeria is never fair. Nigeria can never be fair to us. That even in the face of adversity, a time the governor of Lagos felt it was okay for him to speak out and take action was when that man was speaking under duress and frustration. This is the problem I have with Nigeria. To the Igbos who are still in the other states outside the Biafran territory, I want you to know that you should start thinking about coming back home. I want you to see the story of this man. At a time when stakeholders from the Yoruba land, they did everything to us. Their so-called election, we saw how people were killed, people were attacked, Biafrans were butchered for their so-called elections. Lives and properties were lost. But even when the perpetrators came from the Yoruba side, nothing was done to them. Somebody like MC Oluomo came in the public and insulted the Yorubas when he assumed they were Igbos, because some looked like Igbos and they were insulted, assaulted, and the rest of them. A lady came out and spoke that she could have been hot because they said she looked like an Igbo girl. Even when she spoke in their dialect, they said no, she was a fake Yoruba, that they believe she's Igbo who learned the Yoruba language. Her life was only spared when neighbors came and said, "This is a Yoruba girl. Do not hurt her because she's one of us." To the Biafrans out there, learn from the story of this man. Learn from the story of this man. Jago did nothing wrong. All he did was, in his frustration, he spoke out. This to let you know that we, the Biafrans, we don't even have the right to speak. When we speak, suddenly the law of Nigeria is functioning. Whatever we do in Nigeria, suddenly it becomes personal. MC Oluomo, who said things about the Igbos, till this day, he's a free man. He was even rewarded with a new job, role, or whatever. To the Yorubas out there, you must learn to hold your leaders to account. Because what this our brother went through, not in a million years will even those who come with AK-47 to your land, those who come with their cows and AK-47 to kill and rape your women in the bushes, in the lands, none of them has gone through what this man went through. To the Yorubas, is it that when it's only the Igbos that you now suddenly have this power to flex your muscle? But when you see those coming to your land to steal your land, steal your resources, take the life of your people, you somehow want to play it soft. You somehow want to sign a partnership with them. But when it comes to the Igbo man, when it comes to the Biafran, all hell breaks loose. Very, very sad. This is why I'm saying that for we, the Biafrans, our best option is the one we took. We are only free in our own nation. I don't blame them. Nigeria was never supposed to be one. We were never ever supposed to be one. Because there is nothing one about us. So since we declared our country Biafra on the 29th of November, I want Biafrans to understand that the story of this man should be one of the reasons why we should support Biafra to work out. Because you will never be free in Nigeria. You will never be loved in Nigeria. The hatred they have for you is unheard of. That a Biafra man had to spend all this time in custody for just making a statement, for making a video and making a statement. He spent all this time in jail. But when those that come to kill their own people, when they catch them, they give them back to the owners, the rulers of Nigeria. It's very, very sad. I wish to call upon all Biafrans living in Lagos to understand that this can happen to anybody. It can happen to you as well. Do not assume that this man's case is peculiar. If it can happen to him, it can happen to you. And Nnamdi Kanu is still asking for his freedom. In a case where others that did the same thing, they are all free, having a good time. But Nnamdi Kanu is still held. That is Nigeria for you when it comes to the Biafrans. That is how they see us. That's how they perceive us. That is why we will declare our freedom, to divorce ourselves from Nigeria. Because everything about Nigeria is vague. It's unreal. When it comes to the Biafrans, the hatred can be seen everywhere. It can be seen and can be felt that suddenly their judicial system is working. When it comes to the Biafran, that's when you know that we don't have a right in that country. Oyendo was discharged, but according to the Nigerian system, they said he was not acquitted. To the Biafrans who still believe in this thing called one Nigeria, to those out there who somehow believe that because they have rich friends from the other tribe, it means everything is fine. I want you to smell the coffee. Go through the story of this man and learn from his story. Peter Obi was responsible for this. Peter Obi was the cause of this. Peter Obi was the one that went into politics, trying to become great, to rule Nigeria. And because of Peter Obi, they have punished all the Biafrans living outside the region of Biafra. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. If Peter Obi was going against a Fulani man, this would have happened in the north, the same way it happened in the southwest. Let that sink in. Today, Peter Obi is still having a good time. He still has his rich friends. All his children, they are safe, having a good time abroad. While the Biafrans who were there in Lagos, they've lost their properties. They've lost their business. They've lost their loved ones. And some of them are still in jail. Let that sink in. The story of Eze, NDIGBO of AJAO, must resonate in the mind of all Biafra. This is one of the reasons why we left Nigeria. So for anybody who tells you, oh, don't mind those guys, come back to Nigeria. Nigeria loves you. We believe in one Nigeria. Come back to Nigeria. Tell them, remind them of the story of this man who all what he said was out of frustration. And at the end, he was jailed for the so-called case that he has nothing to do about. They call it impersonation for the fact he called himself Eze NDIGBO. It means he has impersonated. He was tried with the culture of the Yorubas. They forgot in the land of Biafra, amongst your peers, you can be a chief, You can be called any name. But no, he was tried by the culture of the Yorubas. They told him for the fact he didn't go to the Obas or the chiefs in Yoruba land to get his title and his certification. That means what he did was a broken law. Impersonation. To the Biafrans, let that sink in as you ponder about this man. If it happens to him, it can happen to you. It can happen to your brother. It can happen to your father, to your sister, to your wife, and your relatives. Biafra is coming. That's the only hope we have. The only hope we have is Biafra. It has come, and we are coming to implement it. Thank you, and God bless.